listening to Who's Tom and Dick, a weekly podcast with your hosts, Martin Weavers, fighting stage 4 lung cancer, and Patrick Mortimer, living with heart disease. Why not grab yourself a cup of coffee, sit back, and enjoy the chatter as we discuss and share information, talking about tough subjects, and offering help, support, and motivation with a positive middle attitude.
Morning, Patrick.
Morning, Martin. Morning,
How are
everybody. Welcome to Who's Tom and Dick on this lovely Friday morning.
Yes, welcome to everybody. And how are you doing, my old pal?
I'm not doing too bad at all, mate. How are you?
Good, yeah. I'll tell you what, I'm looking forward to today because, you know what?
Hang on. Are you gonna whistle or are you just gonna blow?
That was whistling a tune to one of their biggest ever hits.
Well, I couldn't hear it.
Couldn't you?
No.
Right, I'll do it again.
You're whistling. It's bloody hopeless, mate.
So I've licked all my lips, got it all ready, and you can't hear me.
No, I can't.
Well, that was the beginning to Billy.
I'll tell you
Don't
what.
Be a hero.
I'll tell you what. Let's start again and hum it.
Okay. We've got an exciting guest to come on today. I tell you what, I'm going to hum one of your songs.
You're not going to whistle it then?
No. Well, I'd like to whistle it, but you know, I might smile and I may stop me whistling. So it goes. Do you know that?
Yeah.
It is.
Agadoo, do.
No,
do.
no, it's not Agadoo. That was Billy Don't Be a Hero by Paper Lace.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Do. Shake my apple, shake my tree.
Agadoo is Black Lace, you Wally.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
dear.
today, folks, we're very, very pleased to announce that we've been joined by the lead singer of Paper Lace, and he's also the drummer. So will you please welcome Mr. Phil Wright?
Phil Wright. Welcome, Phil. I hope I've got a list of the right questions here that I've been doing this research on Paper Lace and not Black Lace. Welcome, Phil. Welcome to Who's Tom and Dick.
Morning. How you doing?
Yeah, we're doing great, and we hope you're doing great as well. You're looking good. So, Phil, I'd like you to take us back to perhaps even before when you got into to Paper Lace, the groups that you were in and things like that, the music you was playing.
I started when I was 13 at school. My mum bought me my first drum kit, and we had there was two of the guys in my class at school. One looked like Hank Marvin, and the only band that was around at those times was the Shadows. So it fell naturally that we would do Shadows material, and that's how we started. We weren't particularly vocal. One of the guys was a bit of a singer, and he used to sing. We used to back him up, and all the rest of it. That sort of, I suppose, that petered out when I started work, because I started work as an apprentice toolmaker for 5 years, and during that time, another apprentice, said, "Oh, there's a band in Derbyshire, Ripley, called Music Box, and they're looking for a drummer." And I said, "Oh, well, yeah." I said, "What? How do you know about this?" He says, "Oh, they've put an advert in the Nottingham Evening Post." And I got no transport at that time. And I said, "Oh, it's in Ripley." I says, "Ah, miles away." and he said, "Look, don't worry about the transport. I'll take you out to Ripley Marketplace to meet the guys." He says, "I've been to see them before, and they're a great band. They're a harmony band doing Beach Boys and Four Seasons stuff." Yeah, I went over to Ripley, met the guys. We went to a pub, a sort of local pub. I don't know where it was, but told them what I could do, sang a few songs, played a few things, and didn't get the job.
Oh no!
And they said, "Oh, we've got this other guy, and we're going to try him because he says he seems to. He was actually the drummer from a band called the Marble way back, and they had something to do with the Bee Gees." A couple of weeks later, a guy that used to organise the Music Box, he came knocking on my door, and he said, "The guy that they picked didn't work out." He said, "I knew he wouldn't work out." He said, "Because you were a much better singer." He says, "And he was a nightmare to work with. They'd done a couple of gigs, and he wouldn't pack his stuff up, and he was playing all night, you know, and it's just a bit of a nightmare. So he gave me this tape recorder, and he said, "Learn the songs, you know. That's what there's the set, you know." I proceeded to do that, and then we met up again, and we toured. Toured. It was just bookings up and down the motorway, Sheffield, Doncaster, Leicester, Northeast. You know, and we were getting we were a good band.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd sort of come end of my apprenticeship in 1969. We decided that there were two of them were professional. One of them wasn't, and he was going to take the leap like I was in 1969, because I come out at the time, 21, and I went professional. And at the same time, I got married. It was all a big change. We signed up with a manager, which was the only thing that the band was lacking, really. He put us in a residency in Rochdale. It was a Mecca dance hall called Tiffany's. It was a fantastic place to get your grounding, if you like, for serious work. I mean, nobody ever thought of making it or anything. We were, before that stage, you were just, all you ever wanted to be was in a band. So that was it, you know, that was the driver. We went into this residency, decided on a few things, that we needed a front man, a lead singer, and we picked a guy, Mike Harper, his name was, and he was quite a talented guy, and he'd had lots of high-end experience. He'd been on TV. It was on the Lulu show with a song that New Formula had released called "My Baby's Coming Home." And the other changes we made, we thought we'd got to make, is we'll have a new name, and we were looking for things to, you know, call ourselves. And one guy had got a book of hobbies, things to make. And you remember where you used to fold a piece of paper into four and then tear bits out of it, open it up, and it was a doily. And he said, "Look at this, how to make paper lace." And paper lace. And we all sort of looked at one another and said, "That's not a bad name, paper lace." So it came to be. And everybody associates lace with Nottingham. So it all sort of, sort of, even though we weren't strictly a Nottingham band, people thought, "Oh, well, they've got a Nottingham connection with the drummer. You know, it must be that must be it." From there, we came out of the residency, being able to, because we'd been playing sort of 4 hours a night. We really knew that when we'd go to the clubs and do a 20-minute spot or whatever, or half an hour, it'd be easy, and we had a lot of material.
Yeah.
And then we started recording.
From there, you went and you auditioned for Opportunity
That was
Knocks,
in 1970.
which was a slow process because you didn't get on straight away, did you?
No, we didn't. We didn't actually appear on the show. I mean, we thought, because we did this audition, the panel that we did the audition in front of had said, "Can you do something else? Can you do something else? We'll play another song, you know," and this, that, and the other. So we played about 5 or 6 songs, and nobody else was treated like that. So we thought, maybe this is a done deal, you know. But as I say, 3 years we waited. By the time the letter came through, we actually thought, do we want to be on a talent competition? Because we'd made a couple of records. We'd not had any success, but we'd made a couple of records that we hoped. One of the guys was writing. You know, we seemed to, but I think we were a bit big for our boots then, because we actually looked at the viewing figures for Opportunity Knocks, and they were in the region of 7 million a week. And we thought, this is stupid. We've got to be on this show, because how long does it take you to play in front of 7 million people? You know, it's
Yeah.
So we went on the show. We won it 3-4 times, something like that. So that meant that we were on each week. I mean, you know the format of Opportunity Knocks.
I remember the little clapometer.
Oh yeah, but yeah, I mean, it was nothing to do with the voting system, because the voting system at that point was by mail. So you had to put pen to paper, write your choice out, and vote and send them in. You know, and they used to get thousands of letters in through the post. Somebody had to read the things and count them up. It was quite amazing. But yeah.
So had you done Billy by then?
No. This is 73, as I say.
Yeah.
We'd actually recorded a song by Mitch Murray and Peter Callender at that time. In 73, we released a song called Ragamuffin Man, which was a 59 hit 69, that's right, for Manfred Mann. And it didn't do anything for us, but we liked the song. That was our first connection with Mitch Murray and Peter Callender, who wrote Billy Don't Be a Hero. Peter Callender's wife, Connie, she was an avid fan of Opportunity Knocks. And she saw us on there, and she also knew that Mitch Murray and Peter Callender had written a song, and they were looking to give it to someone or find someone as a vehicle. And she said, well, rather than give it to someone who's established, why don't you look at these guys here? And she pointed it out, and these could do with a leg up the ladder, as it were. Why don't you get in touch with their management and see what transpires? Our management at the time arranged a meet with Mitch Moore and Peter Callender, who at Mitch's house, he lived in Mill Hill at the time. And we went down there, and he's got a piano or whatever, and he's tonking away on this piano and singing as loud as he possibly can. He's a very, very enthusiastic person. He said, we're going to do things here. We're going to have whistling on the beginning, and there's going to be a drum. It's going to be a marching band. And we were all sort of trying to take it in. But at the end of the session with him, the enthusiasm just wore off completely onto us, and we came away thinking, we're going to have a hit, And we went into recording. We recorded it in Clapham, in a Majestic Studios in Clapham, which was a sort of disused cinema. So we went in there and we did this, put it all together, and that was it. We managed to get the new release spot on Top of the Pops. That was the making of it, really.
Yeah.
The reaction was amazing. It went on sale, started selling. I think it went in the charts. I think it went in at about somewhere between 15 and 20. Then it was 13. Then it was 6, I think, something like that. And it was a bit of a meteoric sort of zoom up the charts. It did sort of wonders for us. I mean, we did the first Top of the Pops we did, where we were actually in the charts. We met so many people. Queen were on. They were at number 6 with 7 Seas of Rye.
Yeah.
And this was in 1974. And then March the 16th, 1974, we were at number 1.
Didn't Elton John come up to you in one of the Top of the Pops?
That was later on. That was in August, because we had a success of Billy. Billy was number 1 in the States by someone else. So we were sort of done out of a number 1 spot in the States initially by a band called Bo Donaldson and Haywoods. But then we recorded the Night Chicago Died, and that went to number 1 in the States. And we sort of looked on it as our second number 1, really, because Bo Donaldson, I've spoken to since, he rang me up, and I said, Bo Donaldson, he says, I'm the guy that pinched your hit and recorded it in the States. And he's a nice guy, he's okay. But when we recorded The Night Chicago Died, again, a run of Top of the Pops appearances, several of the TVs and all the rest of it. And when we were on Top of the Pops one particular time, and Elton John, I forget the song, but might have been Daniel, or can't remember what. He was on the programme anyway. And out of the corner of my eye, when we were doing rehearsals, I saw this guy coming over to me. I thought, Christ, it's Elton John. And I was I'm a massive fan. I've always have been. And he came up and with hand outstretched, and he said, I want to congratulate you on your number 1 success in the States. And I said, "Oh, thanks, great to meet you." It's just blurb, really. I can't remember what I said. Just starstruck. But yeah, it was good.
It's a shame that the night in Chicago didn't go to number 1 in this country. I think it should have done. Got to number 3, didn't it?
Yeah.
I was a huge fan of your music, and when Billy came out, and then that. But the next one, the Black Eyed Boys, oh my God, I absolutely love. And I had a photograph of the band from Smash Hits. And when I was at school, they said, we need you to cover your geography books for your homework one night. What a homework that was. So I got that picture and I put it around with your white shirts on and the black eyes on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I love that song. But that didn't do quite as well. Number 11, I mean, it's still
all
really
right.
good.
Yeah. But the thing was, you as I say, number 1, number 3, number 11, whatever, we're obviously on the way out. And the catalogue of songs isn't massive. And that leads to what I'm finding difficult today, really, that people don't they know the song, but they don't remember the band. And and it's very difficult. And I think the UK, anyway, is absolutely flooded with tribute artists. There's so many. It's
sorry about that.
yeah, I don't know, but it happens, and people, promoters, are saying, basically, why should we pay for original bands when we've got traditional? And the UK public are such that if you sing the songs, that's all they want to hear.
Yeah. Do you do the Black Eyed Boys? Do you do that in your show now?
Yeah. We kick off with it, actually.
Right, because the lady who filmed, I said, "Have you got that on, video?" And she said, "Oh, I don't know. I don't know that one." So I thought, well, you're just saying now that you actually do it.
Well, yeah, I mean, Sue Ruston actually is a fan of Phil Hendriks. I have mixed feelings about it. I'm miffed at the fact that nobody in the UK, when you if you say, "Oh, I was the original singer," I'm the rest of it, it doesn't count for much. If you go abroad, anywhere abroad, I mean, we toured Australia in 2017, did it again in 2023. Whenever I'm talking to promoters in places like Australia or New Zealand or wherever, the first thing they say is it the original band? How many original guys have you got? And the more you've got, the better it is. And in 2023, early doors in 2023, we were 50% original because Cliff, the bass player, around. And but he was having a rough time with the cancer battle, and we lost him in April.
Yeah.
And it was just before we went to Australia, and the people in Australia thought we'd cancel the tour because Cliff wasn't around. But we did it actually as a bit of a memorial to him. We did the tour. He wouldn't have wanted us to cancel because of what happened. We produced an album, a CD at that time, where we'd re-recorded all the album material, and Cliff had been a part of that, and we dedicated that to him. We dedicated the tour, in actual fact, to him in 2023. The audiences in Australia are really inquisitive. They want to know about you. The minute you start telling them a story, they listen. You've got to, they want to know about the band. And I explained what had happened to Cliff, and that he'd had a 2-year battle with cancer and all the rest of it. And this tour was basically a memorial to him. And he got a round of applause every night. They were really, really lovely people. And I started doing a sort of talk show of my life as a musician. I've done 2 or 3, and towards the end of this year, I've got a couple more coming up, and next year looks really good. So it's something else. I'm trying to get a book together. I'm about 180 pages in, so it's my life autobiography.
I look forward to that.
It's musician, Phil Wright from Paper Lace. I mean, I'm toying around with different titles. I came up with Fame and a Hope of Fortune, something like that.
Don't call it agadoo.
That's right. I think there's somebody out there with that.
Phil, are you a drummer first or a singer?
I'm a singer.
Oh, singer first, drummer second.
I'm a singer who drums.
Yeah,
and
right.
It's sort of always been like that, because when I did start, I started singing but I'd always sung. I was in a choir when I was very young, that sort of thing. And I think what I owe my vocal skills to, if you like, if it can be described as that, is the fact that I have been singing for such a long time. I had some fantastic idols, who are, and the material that they recorded, I sort of sang. I mean, when I lived at home up to 12, sort of 11, 12, 13, my dad was a big Nat King Cole fan. I used to think, God, I wish I could sing like that. And you listen to these. I listened to female singers and sing along with female singers and all the rest of it. And I think it changes your view of vocal and how you sing. And so, yeah, I mean, people have said that my voice sounds like it sounded in '74. And
it's still good. It's still, I told you I listened to that video the other night.
Yeah, but the tone and everything is still there. So I'm thinking, well, blow. That's it. Thank you very much.
And as we know,
whoever's up there,
the sound doesn't come out as good on just an iPhone or anything like that, does it? But it still sounded very, very good. As I said, I'm not patronising, but I think the band are very good. I mean, Phil's fantastic. I mean, he must be in about 1,000 different bands, Phil.
Yeah. Well, he's in Blonded, Michelle, his wife's band.
Yeah.
He's in the Legendaries, the Les McKeown's touring band. He's in Stiffs.
Yes.
He's in Jukebox Heroes.
So going back to your career, did you ever have any other hits released or songs released in America after the night Chicago died?
No, we didn't. And
really,
we've never toured America at all. So we've got one out there, but we've never actually toured it. And when we approached, because at the time of the night Chicago died, it was really unbelievably difficult to do a foreign tour. It wasn't like today where things click into place, promoter provides everything, and it's all very simple via the internet and all the rest of it. You can get out there, you could do a tour, and it doesn't take the mammoth task of organising equipment. They wouldn't provide anything. You had to get a Pantechnicon, load it with gear, and drive over there, whatever. Get everything shipped, and it was so expensive.
Yeah,
that you couldn't actually do a tour unless you got help from your record company. And we'd approached the record company and we said, look, there's one or two people that are interested in hearing Paper Lace in the States because we've got this number one. And they said, no, we're not interested. Why do we need the band out here? We can get a number one without the band. That's been the story, really. It's been a block from then. We stopped bothering at one point, but it's. I'm still the actual market for the nostalgia bit is rife in the States.
Yeah,
but everybody is of the same mind. It costs a lot of money to get people out. I've had a couple of offers, but again, going all that way with a promoter, you've got to make sure everything is right, because it can do you a lot of harm if things don't work. And there's a lot of rip-off merchants out there,
So moving on a little bit to 1978 now, Phil.
Yeah.
You got involved with Nottingham Forest Football Club.
That's right, yeah.
We've got the whole world in our hands, which my nephew, who listens to this podcast, he bought the single and we played and played and played that song. We loved it.
Yeah.
How did that come about then?
Well, the thing was that our manager at the time, a guy called Brian Hart, I don't know if you remember him, he managed us off and on. We had some fallouts. But he also handled Brian Clough's business affairs. And we were, in '78, we were sort of our popularity was waning, and Nottingham Forest were like, they were winning everything inside.
Yeah.
Then it was a marvellous time for Nottingham Forest. Absolutely.
Are you a fan of the Forest?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm not a big football fan, but if I've got to be, I have allegiance to anybody, it'd be Nottingham Forest.
Yeah.
Because of our association, in actual fact, because we did. Brian said, I think it's be a great idea if we could get you together, do a football song. I mean, it wasn't a new idea. It's I said, if it was the right song, I can't see it, good as anything. And with Forest's popularity, it might mean that the momentum would carry it, and it would do us a bit of good, and then just maintain their popularity, if you like. So they looked around for a song. They got somebody in. I can't think of his name, but he was a well-known writer, lyricist, and they got him to change the words. Found that the ownership of the song was anybody's. It was that sort of thing. It's termed a traditional song, so the copyright, there was no problems there, and it was a sing-along thing. And this guy put all the people who played with Forest at that time.
Yeah,
he got all their names in there, and he got one or two of the nicknames and bits about the actual person. We actually recorded it in Birmingham. And we went down, got a picture of us on the coach with the band, with the team, and we went down to Birmingham. And on the way, the team were singing the song and trying to get familiar with it. And when we got there and we started to record it, we found that football players aren't the best singers.
How does that not surprise me?
But then I thought, well, I'm not very good at football. So, yeah. Anyway, there was probably five of them had got decent voices, could hold a tune. And, so we were doing overdubs and putting us in, and all the rest of it, until it sounded like a football team, which was fairly easy. And it turned out, I said, this is a pretty good song. And Cluffy, he came and he says, well, you know all about songs and all the rest of it. I said, yeah. And he said, what do you think of it, honestly? Honestly, what do you think of it? I said, I think it's a shit-hot song, Brian. Absolutely. And he said, there's no need for language like that, young man. And yeah, it was a laugh. We got a fish and chip supper out of it.
Yeah, so going back to all your nostalgia that you was talking about, and you like you're the only original member now with your band, and it must be sad when you look at other bands, like Shawaddy Waddy, and all the people you knew over that period of the 70s, they've all gone. Les McEwen, and it must be sad when you think about that.
Yeah. It's you start thinking of your own mortality, but you think, crikey, the people that are going are actually younger than me, most of them. But Shawaddy Waddy, they're still up there, and they've only got one. It's Romeo, I think he's the only.
Yeah, but it's funny, he's the drummer.
Yeah,
and Herman's Hermits have got the drummer.
Them, yeah.
So
it's strange. There must be something about drumming.
Well, you get plenty of exercise in drumming.
Yeah, well, your hands, I suppose. That's it. But yeah, I mean, we've suffered a few setbacks. I mean, in the time where I sort of got a proper job, and that was necessity, really. It was I got a family and all the rest of it, and the actual royalty situation hadn't really been exploited, if you like, because the people that knew all about PPL and royalties for the performer had never given us any advice, what to claim for, this, that, and the other, because it was for us. It wasn't for them. Mitch Murray, Peter Callender, Brian Hart, and all the rest of it. If they weren't getting anything from it, they weren't interested. And we were left to our own devices a lot of the time. And as I say, I went into building trade. I could do a job. I did managerial courses and this, that, and the other. And then I was semi-pro, as I say, with Sons and Lovers. In 1974, when the band really sort of broke up, Chris out of the band, he said, "Is there any way I can carry on?" And I said, "Well, as long as there's an original member, I don't mind, So he got 3 guys together. Chris being Chris, he didn't stick it for very long. He left after about 6 months. And the 3 guys that were working with him got another bloke in, and they called themselves Paper Lace, and they went out. And they were not good, but they did a cabaret sort of attitude and all the rest of it. But they were earning money, big money, for a long time. When it came to the point where Cliff and myself were going to reform and get Phil Hendriks together and Dave Major and all the rest of it, I thought, if this is serious, what we need to do is register the name. So I got in touch with the Intellectual Property Office, and I said, I want to put this name. I'm an original member. I've got 2 original members, blah, blah, blah. And I put a thing in, and I got an objection from the guy that was running the other Paper Lace. We had a bit of a legal spat, and he won, and it cost me $2,000 to sort of lose the name. And that's
hence you call it Phil Wright.
Paper Lace.
Yeah, Paper Lace. Yeah.
I mean, the thing was that I'd done a lot of social media stuff, and the people that I cared about and the people that I wanted to know the truth about all were, perfectly okay with me. They're saying, "Look, you're the lead singer. Why is this guy?" And I said, "Look, it's the law is an ass, as you know, and he's got in, he's registered this name, and he owns the name, and I and he's a vindictive person. In actual fact, I switched and to form the sort of demarcation between the 2 bands, I called ourselves the original 70s Paper Lace.
Yeah.
And he registered that as well. I said, look, I got in touch with him and I said, look, what are you trying to do me out of business completely? Because the thing is, you can't pinch my musical history. You weren't there. You have it. I have it on record that you have reformed a band, called your band Paper Lace, and you started in 1985. All the hits were in 1974, so you can't lay claim to that. And he said, "I can do what I want. I own the name, this, that, and the other." And the band certainly the band that he had, the drummer died, and the other 2 people that were in the band have given up. They've retired, if you like. He's still interested. He's my age. He's exactly the same age as me. I emailed him and said, "Look, I'm at the end or approaching the end of my musical career. How about if you've finished with the name, how about letting me have it for the sort of final couple of years, whatever length of time, but if you with it." And he took about 6 months before he actually replied, and when he did reply, he said, "No way, I'm hanging up." And he's not using the name. He has. I think the last gig he did was in 2019, but he won't let me go along with it. And
because everybody remembers you as the lead singer, right. And you are the face and the voice, and I remember the perm you had as well.
Yeah. I mean, you can't get away from it.
Remembers you.
You can't get away from it. I don't know where he is at it. I mean, he's actually performing still. He's performing I think they're playing at some point this year, and I think they're doing. He's involved with Billy Fury's band.
Okay, yeah.
And he was the guitarist for Billy Fury when he was alive, and they've got a tribute in obviously now, but I think he's done an orchestral version of it, the songs, and farewell to it. I hope he does okay. But stay away from Paper Lace. That's
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you certainly give us a brilliant look into your whole career. I mean, as I said, we've gone back from the start to right now. I don't know if Patrick.
The only other one I was going to say was I've got two here.
Yeah.
Coming from
greedy now.
Point of view. Firstly, I want to ask you if you're Keir Starmer's dad. His dad was a toolmaker.
Yeah.
And secondly, drumming is the rhythm of drumming. You've got to rub your tummy and rub your head.
Yeah.
Type of all those rhythms, keeping the bass going. How do you find that? Because does it come naturally after a while, or?
Yeah, I think it did. I think I class myself as very lucky in that way. I mean, I used to sing and play in a rehearsal sort of situation by myself, a practice situation. I had years of actually singing and playing songs, different songs and different songs that were in the hit parade. So eventually, there are some things that are quite difficult to play if they cross the beat or whatever. They're not. It's not all a done deal. You have the some things, but I think it's a question of making yourself do it. When you come across something that is very difficult to do, I'm not talking about the technicalities of drumming. I mean, I can play most things, and I don't really find difficulty in the stuff we do. The stuff we do, I am I play what is necessary.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is, there's a lot of stuff in there that leads me to say, what you've just said, basically, that it is difficult and sometimes it doesn't work, but over a period you get used to it and you rehearse it and eventually it clicks and it's all there.
Yeah.
I mean, there's only a few songs that actually have been a difficulty.
Yeah.
Well, Phil, thanks very much for coming on the show. I never thought that when I bought those songs on Bus Stop all those years ago, absolutely, I'd actually be talking to you. But I hope to get to see the band at some point. But as I said, because I'm always busy as well.
Yeah.
But I'll come and introduce myself to you when I do that.
Do that.
Yeah. Yeah, and thank you very much for coming on Who's Tom and Dick?
Yeah, thanks very much, Phil, for your participation today. It's been an eye-opener.
Well, I've enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Thanks. Nice to meet you both.
And you.
Yeah, and you too. And as I say, definitely come and see you at some point.
Okay.
Thanks a lot, Phil.
Thanks, Phil.
Thank you.
Well, there you go, Patrick. That was fantastic. I'll tell you what, my little journey through the 70s music, what I loved, was part of Paper Lace.
Paper Lace was formed in 1967, according to my research notes.
Oh, yeah.
And were big in the 70s. And as I say, Phil, surprised me, Phil telling us about the name Paper Lace. I would have thought he'd have won that court battle hands down.
Yeah, that's right. Sometimes it's wrong, the law, I think, because he is the voice, the original person everybody remembers. And as I say, I remember the Permy ad, which was fantastic. But yeah, well, thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah,
we hope you enjoyed that as much as we enjoyed doing it.
Thanks very much for tuning in, and we will be back here next week.
Yeah, thanks for listening, everyone.
Cheers, guys. Bye. Have a great week.
Bye.
Bye.
You've been listening to the Who's Tom and Dick podcast with your hosts, Martin Weavers and Patrick Mortimer. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to the show on Apple, Spotify, or your favorite streaming platform. New episodes are available every Friday. Thanks for tuning in.